Hi, good afternoon. My name is Dave Dennis. I'm president of Creative Arts Network. We're pleased to be here today to celebrate Hydrangea Day again in the city of Fall River, a project that Creative Arts Network initiated more than 5 years ago, part of a beautification project, and a project that the city has been very, very supportive of, and along with our other elected officials. So we're very pleased today to celebrate Hydrangea Day once again here in the city of Fall River. And the project has expanded. We started out here at Government Center. We're now on Sullivan Drive. We've planted up Sullivan Drive along the waterfront, Battleship Cove, Heritage State Park, Maritime Museum, and several other places throughout the city. So the project is expanding. It's improving the city. And we began the project in part because the hydrangea is the official flower, I believe, of Portugal. So it was very appropriate for us to choose that plant here in the city of Fall River. So I think we have some elected officials here. If we want to introduce, I'll introduce Mayor Paul Coogan.
Thank you, Dave.
Mayor?
You want me to say something?
Yeah, you can say that. Then we'll just have everybody. You guys can come up. Andrew, come on up. Alan Sylvia and City Councilor Andrew Raposa. All right, Mayor?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, David. I think this is my third Hydrangea Day. I believe we've done the proclamation, and I just want to read it briefly. Whereas while hydrangeas aren't native to the Azores, historians believe the plant arrived in the U.S. courtesy of immigrants from the Azores in the mid-1900s. Whereas one of the distinct attributes of Fall River is its long, rich history of Azorean culture and our ties to Portugal. And whereas a group of volunteers met to start the conversation of a hydrangea beautification program in the city of Fall River, and much work has been done with state stakeholders, business organizations, neighborhood groups, in addition to identifying locations around the city for plantings. The goal to start is to plant in various areas throughout the waterfront and downtown Fall River, eventually making it through many of our neighborhoods. These areas are particularly important now that the Massachusetts Cultural Council voted to approve the Commonwealth's 50th designated cultural district along the waterfront in Fall River. And a clean, attractive city is an asset to economic development, improves the quality of life, and enhances the experience for our visitors. Therefore, I, Paul Coogan, Mayor of the City of Fall River, do hereby proclaim June 25th, Hydrangea Day in the City of Fall River.
Mayor, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I do want to especially thank the Coogan administration. As the mayor said, for the last 3 years, they've been extremely supportive of the hydrangea project, and not only the original project, but certainly its expansion. And without the mayor's support and the city's support, this certainly wouldn't be possible. So, Mayor, thank you very much for your support. Next, I'd like to invite State Representative Alan Sylvia.
Thank you, David. So I first want to thank David and Sandy Dennis. This has been a 5-year project, really, and it's what can you say that about hydrangeas that hasn't been said, except it beautifies our city. And if people drive around and they look at our parks and they look at our city as a whole, they will see that it's never been as beautiful as it is right now. Our streets are cleaner, our parks are pristine, and hydrangeas will really change the way our city looks. We're going to see this as it evolves, especially on the waterfront, but around our government building and so many areas in our neighborhoods, which is vitally important, where we have less greenage in some areas, especially when I look at the south end, than in other parts of our city. So hydrangeas is very important. It's also important to mention that it's good to see people from the community here, especially from our park board and Helen Rigo. It's all very positive for our city, and again, thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to recognize City Councilor Mr. Andrew Raposa. I keep wanting to call him Alan. I know it's come on up, Andrew.
Thank you. Just want to, on behalf of the Fall River City Council, thank Mr. and Mrs. Dennis for inviting us here today to celebrate Hydrangea Day. As a descendant of Portuguese, and I was fortunate enough to visit the Azores last year and see these beautiful plants firsthand. So it's nice to see that beautification here in the city of Fall River. It's a beautiful day here. The weather's beautiful. It's a great day to celebrate. We keep moving our city forward. So thank you, Mr. Dennis.
Thank
Pleasure.
you, Councilor.
Thank you.
very much. Next, I'd like to introduce really the sort of the person behind the project, our Executive Director, Creative Arts Network, CAN's Executive Director, Sandra Dennis. Sandra?
Thank you. Again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to come out to our annual proclamation Hydrangea Day in Fall River. But I want to especially thank the mayor for his continued support, collaboration, and cooperation with this project. Thank you, Mayor Coogan. We look forward to working with you on this project as it continues to grow throughout the city. I'd also like to thank Dave LaLima, who came to us originally with this project. Never thought we would grow to this point, but we have, and we'll have Dave say a few words. But I'd like to also thank David Lavoie. Right. He's our water man. He waters all of our hydrangeas, and we appreciate it because without the water, we won't have hydrangeas. And I'd also like to thank Pete Daly from People Incorporated, who have generously sponsored the plants around City Hall and on Old 2nd Street where we are today. As a token of our appreciation for all of your continued support, collaboration, and cooperation, we would like to present some certificates to Pete Daly, Mayor Coogan, and Dave Lavoie. We really, really do appreciate what you've done to help support this project. Mayor Coogan? Whoops.
Thank you very much, Sandy.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank
very much.
you. Pete? David?
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're also very excited to announce that we have just signed our contract for opera funds to expand our experimental education gardens. Again, we want to thank the mayor for this opportunity, and again, we look forward to working with the city in collaboration and cooperation. The project is more than just a plant to all of us in the city. It's a beautification project, it's a connectivity project, it's an art and cultural project, and it's an urban experimental education project. And these funds are going to allow us to expand, and we'll be able to design and plant small urban gardens throughout the city, offer a lecture service, series and training classes, a possible rain barrel program to address our irrigation issues during the drought periods. And in closing, I'd like to invite Dave LaLima and Pete Daly to say a few words on behalf of the project.
It's both of us. Would you like to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you again to Sandy Dennis and the two Daves, Dave Dennis and David LaLima. So People Incorporated has a number of programs, and really it's a multifaceted agency, but one thing we're really proud of is being a community partner. And the Hydrangea project has allowed us to be an increased community partner, not only in the downtown area, but throughout the city. And I also, this year especially, want to thank the Hydrangea project, and namely Dave LaLima, for his volunteer service to beautify one of our homes. As people know, People Incorporated operates some 24-hour homes that support people with disabilities, and staff is there 24 hours a day. But one thing that's made that experience better for both the staff and the people living there has been David's efforts to beautify the area around it with hydrangeas. So it's been a transformative project. We're happy to support it. And again, I just want to thank Sandy Dennis, Dave Dennis, and David LaLima for all their efforts. Thank you.
Dave?
This is quite an experiment that we're trying here, a collaborative experiment to bring hope and community connection through a plant. And it's unusual and difficult to take an idea and make it reality. And it takes a lot of chances and tough decision making, failures and positives and pluses. We've had many starts and stops with this project because we've selected a plant as people have said, that is it would be connected to the Azores. The plant that's there is the macrophylla, and it has a very unique status. And because there's no winter in the Azores, new buds grow on old plants. Here we have winter, and winters with new buds during December and January always bode for disaster. So we have had 4 or 5 years of hit and miss with our plants all over the city, trying to make this project similar to what's going on in the Azores. We've experimented and we're getting better at it, but we haven't perfected it. And it's taken a lot of people, as others have said, but I want to just thank, besides the Dennises, for getting behind all this. This project wouldn't work without David Lavoie's watering of these plants. This is a plant that needs water, and without the water, they wouldn't be doing as well as they are. So whatever we see here, I want to just thank the maintenance people at City Hall. And lastly, I would say that we've tried to expand it outside of City Hall. We walked up Old 2nd Street here, and in time, we've engaged some of the people who are spending a lot of time on this street. I've given them clippers, and they've got involved, and they're invested in how nice this place looks, which I think is encouraging, that we can get other people in the city to take ownership of the beautification of the city. And we're going to continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And I'd also like to recognize City Councilor Linda Pereira and ask if she'd like to make a couple of comments.
I think it's wonderful what they're doing. I have a hydrangea plant and I need help because I don't know what you do when you have the sticks that grow up, what time of year you're supposed to clip them, because there's nothing like going to the Azores and seeing all the hydrangeas in full bloom. It's gorgeous. And I guess the Portuguese brought it to Hawaii too, because if you go to the island of Maui, it is loaded with hydrangeas. And it beautifies the city, very much so, and it gives life to an area like this. So I thank the Dennises very much for getting behind this project and bringing it to our attention. I know COVID kind of slowed us down a bit, but
Only a little bit.
But I love their persistence in making Fall River's quality of life better. So I thank you both very much, and of course David, who knows all the hydrangea trades and tips. Thank you.
Thanks, okay. That concludes our program. Before we say goodbye, I do want to recognize members of our board, and Laura Kuznos, Fran Cullen, and also Helen Rigo. Once again, I want to thank the mayor of the city of Fall River, Dave, water guy, and all the other elected officials, city councilors, state representative. And so without their support, and the project just wouldn't be possible, and we certainly wouldn't be able to expand the project. So again, thank you very much, and we'll see you next year.